There is,
Yeah. Just run it back.
First phase is.
I'm fine with Mars. They're not going to see their carry matchup, so just something solid with the Coddle.
Radiant team.
They ran it the other game. Oh,
Sure, NGX saw this coming. You know, they could have banned it, but decided some of these other heroes were maybe a bigger problem. Unless they were thinking that Tiny was offlane or something, that seems a bit odd.
They just wanted to make sure if DK went mid that they couldn't just
10
switch it up and
seconds
DK had an
remaining.
awful game versus like the Bat and DB.
Yeah. Makes sense.
5 seconds remaining.
I'm totally fine with it. You don't really want playing either of those matchups. And
Yeah.
now they need a carry. Again.
Phantom
Ooh.
Choose your
I mean,
hero.
Grim PA, we've seen this lane quite a bit, particularly in SEA. Like this, let's, you know, try and crush our lane a bit. This is a hero that can cause maybe Mars some problems.
Yeah. I was thinking the Void, it's similar. You have this mobility, but I don't think Void likes playing versus Mars that much because the stun is just too long duration.
Well, I want to bring in Mike and John, and I said to you guys, I promise I won't talk over whoever's going second this time. But Mike, I'll start with you. You know, which lineup do you think feeds into the team strengths better?
It's hard to tell. They're both pretty close, right? Just very glad to see no Marcy being picked up by either team, so we should be in for a close game for once. I feel like the PA pick's pretty nice.
10
I still think
seconds
Polaris
remaining.
Esports has a better draft going into this matchup, but I think it can go either way this game.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I think it's pretty close in terms of draft. You have really good magic damage from Polaris to hold down that PA until the BKB timing. So it feels like In Your Dream's really going to have to work for that space and keep building up. And it's a bit greedy from NGX going for the Doom support as well for Jokam. So it's going to be feeding in, trying to get some gold to get a blink at the least to initiate. And that's something Polaris can play around with their aggression here.
You agree with what those guys are saying, or do you want to argue?
I think it's pretty straightforward here. Like, Nigma again has a draft where unless they get some double dooms off is very snowbally, and Polaris has a more well-rounded draft. So up to Nigma to snowball the game yet again.
Exactly the same.
Yeah. I think they can do it though. I'm gonna believe in Enigma Galaxy. I'm riding the high. They got the Nature's Prophet again. I think that's just another that lane. It just felt like players didn't have an answer for. So I think NGX have game 3.
Oh gosh, all right. You guys are always switching up here on the couch, but I can always depend on you, Mike and John, as we do go into game 3.
Well, thank you so much, Nat. We do go into game number 3 here. John, before we do start the game, keep in mind, any team that loses 2 series has a very low chance of making it to the major, right? Like, if we're talking about qualifying to the major, you know, you think Fnatic T1 Boom right now, you lose 2 series as any team, it's going to be a pretty rough affair, because then you're relying on the other teams to also drop many series. So it's going to be quite important for either side if they wish to have a chance at this next major to try and pull off this win.
Yeah, they've got to find that win, make or break for
Prepare
either
for
side.
battle.
And NGX and Polaris are kind of in that same position where they were contenders in the first, well, in the last tour at the very least, tour 2. And they want to be contenders still, especially Polaris. We're on the cusp of going to the major. They're going to need this win. So we'll see if they can pull it out. NGX, of course, has shown us that, you know, sometimes despite running some slightly wackier drafts, they still manage to make it work. And they've got Mizu back on his NP. As the draft mentioned, I do like Polaris' early aggression, though. I mean, you have so much magic damage with a Coddle, with a Mars, with a Chikiro on top of that. Even Natsumi can join in. With just a Maelstrom, Sanjin, Yasha, you're kind of set to go on the Jug to help out. And you've got Lelouch once more in the Tiny, and we saw him perform in that hero in game 1. So I think Polaris has the aggression to back themselves up this time around in comparison to game 2, where they only had Lelouch to launch off of. Because Nevermind was on a Razor, their support duo just wasn't doing enough. This time around, they should be able to find that room to make the plays here, Mike.
Before we do get into any kind of fighting or laning stage, John, I didn't have my chance to respond to Neff in Discord, so I just wanted to say Neff's an idiot. That's it. Neff Sensei is an absolute idiot. I hope he's listening to so he can listen to you saying that.
That is the most basic genius.
That's enough, Jonathan. Nevermind's in trouble. Nevermind's in trouble, Jonathan. In Your Dream's gonna move in. Nevermind copping a fair bit of damage here on this Mars. He's going to be all right to back out of there. Xavius will kind of hold the line for him, though he is going to be copping a fair bit of HP removal here from the side of NGXE. And, well, sadly for Nevermind, John, he can't rely on his support to salve him up anymore, which was very, very good. Great change.
Yeah, no salves. No salves, but Bracer off lane is what we tend to see, and a lot of Bracers. I recall Mizu game 1 for Bracer Night Stalker build. Not going to see that from Nevermind. But even the value Bracer, despite the nerfs, is going to help the cause. We'll just have to see if they'll be allowed to reach that point. I love the movement from Boomboy here, just going up north, cutting them off, making it uncomfy to look for the angle, playing with that Stroke of Fate really nicely down the line. The Inkswell combination is going to be pretty darn good. He can jump and commit onto Nevermind. He is not that durable. Look at Boomboy. Just cuts him all the way back to his second wave. Again, just preventing any sort of wave clearing and aggression onto that PA. So giving In Your Dream just a perfect start for him, at least for these first 2 waves here.
That's a very nice Stroke of Fate out as well. Just cancelling off the salve. Had over half its duration, still going, but never mind. Gonna lose that, and now Xavius is gonna give him the salve over. But you only get half the value out of that salve, which I had the experience of giving a salve over to my carry today, John. I tried to tell them about the recent changes, but they still insisted, and they ended up dying a minute later.
Under attack.
Just thought I'd add that tidbit.
Why would you do that, Mike? I mean, honestly, and this is a pro tip I've heard from my friend Crest, if you want to help your core now, just buy Headrest. Just walk into lane with Headrest. That's it. It just shits,
don't help
but
don't help.
yeah, you know.
Bot lane. First blood does get drawn. Boomboy. He's been very impactful down at the bot lane. Has secured first blood on the Grimstroke, so never mind. It really felt like it was all off the back of that kind of terrible start trying to fight over the bounties, and he does finally end up dropping.
And it's just that aggression that they can get out here from the side of NGX. They've got great Inkswell combinations. They've got their own source of damage coming through from Boomboy. Nevermind, it's just not that durable. He does have one Bracer up, and they are starting to get some damage out. Nice spear out, but probably not enough to get the kill. And again, still giving a lot of space to In Your Dream. So already off to a really strong start here on the PA. Players have to be careful about bleeding out on this off lane. We saw Nevermind go off to a slower start game 2. On his Morris, he should do a lot better, but you still kind of want a stable start here to get those timings right.
We should have a look at the other lanes as well here, John. Of course, top lane Mizu on the Nature's Prophet. He's being annoyed by Team B on that Jakiro. Of course, he doesn't really want to play the lane, and I think Fear and Gods kind of spoke about this during the panel, but Jakiro pretty darn good at dealing with the Nature's Prophet, so they are just constantly pulling the creep wave away, and you can see Jokam doing that exact same thing right now. Natsumi is going to try and intercept. Jokam doesn't really want to drag it into the tier 1 tower, and he does get away with not doing so. So very nice play here from NGXC at the top lane. And even if Natsumi is still farming, as long as Mizu secures his own farm, I'm sure he's going to be very happy.
Yeah, and they're getting steady build up on the NP. Still a bit of a slower start for Mizu. Natsumi not too dissatisfied with this lane. Fairly annoying to lane up against Jokam and support Doom. He does grab the mana burn creep. So he just runs up, mana burns Natsumi, suddenly he doesn't have his save in the Blade Fury. They don't have that aggression coming through from Polaris to play with the slowest into the spin and leverage that magic damage. All because Jokam got that perfect creep.
It's kind of annoying as well that the creep gives you the mana aura. So if you think about it, the creep's actually more valuable than Crystal Maiden these days, John, which is, you know, what can you do?
Why you gotta do that to me, man?
Well,
I know she's dead. Everyone knows. No need to keep stomping on her dead body, Mike.
I'm just saying, Jokam can be an actual hero and give mana to his allies. It's incredible.
Ah, Mikey.
And
It is
burn the enemies
incredible.
to mana. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, Natsumi's just all out. Can't even use the healing ward to sustain in the lane.
Bot lane.
It's a slow start.
Never mind. Again in trouble, Jokam, or rather Boomboy, and In Your Dream, able to set up another time, but it's really off the back of Boomboy. He's just doing a fantastic job during this laning phase, making it borderline impossible for this master to do anything. As well, speaking of impossible, now Natsumi up at the top lane is not having a very good time, and it's all off the back of Jokam. He just burns all their mana, and they can't do anything.
The supports are making all the difference in the world in these side lanes, so things looking good for NGX on both sides. I mean, the CS is still there for Natsumi at least, but it is dragging behind compared to In Your Dreams basically free lane. The only lane feeling good for Polaris right now is their mid. You're seeing Lelouch work that lane fairly well. Up there in CS, Alexa can't do much to stop it as Nevermind dies again. It's very reminiscent of what we saw there in game 2. Xavius just going for stacks, looking for a mid rotation or just to look for that opportunity, but every time he leaves, Nevermind's just a sitting duck there.
And don't forget, this is a comfort pick for In Your Dream as well. So you're going to give all this free farm and all these kills over to the PA. We know how comfortable In Your Dream is on this hero. Loves these kind of aggressive pos one where he can make the jump in and just find pickoffs across the map as top lane. Speaking of pickoffs, TMB's going to drop now to Jokam once again. And it's almost starting to feel like NGXC are going to be ready to push in this top tier 1 Sours soon. They've got the siege creep on their way. Maybe they can get some decent damage up.
And you're level 4 now on Mizu. Dreams are up and running. You can't just go. Got the Dragon formula if he does want to change position. You find Xavius this time down bot. It's just
so
anyone
aggressive.
who jumps in gets caught out by Inkswell Blink. It's just very basic, but it works.
It certainly does. They just don't have the counters towards it down at this bot lane. Never mind, sitting at level 3.
Dire's
Doomboy's at
middle
level
tower
4.
is under attack.
Doomboy's almost level 5 on the Pos 5 Grimstroke. And Nevermind's at level 3 jump. That's how badly this bottom lane's gone. Make matters worse, In Your Dream's almost level 6.
Yeah.
Level 6.
It's a slow start, and it's gonna bite Polaris quite hard. I mean, I
Radiant's
think you
middle
heard
tower
Fear
is
say
under
that
attack.
he wanted to see them go for
Dire's middle
survivability, just hold
tower
on
is
to
under
these lanes
attack.
and try to survive through for Polaris, but it's not coming out. We're seeing a bit of a repeat from game 2. The aggression's coming through from NGX. Even the mid lane where, you know, you were seeing a little bit more for Lelouch. Alacrity's kind of stepped up, getting a good shove onto the mid. Double bracer up. Very durable now on the DK. Let's get some decent chip damage onto the mid tier 1 as well. And Polaris just doesn't have anything to stop. They need more levels on their supports. They need some items up on their cores. They are getting the TP up top here though.
Lelouch gonna make the rotation over. Nice avalanche toss. Is onto Mizu, and that should be the profit gone. They do overextend, and Lelouch does end up punishing them. And Mizu just getting a bit too much out of that top lane, is finally going down. Lelouch, right after that, he's back into the mid lane. He's not messing around.
They're just in and out, looking for the pickoff, looking for a way to accelerate that blink timing now on the Tiny, which is going to be key. Considering how slow this game is for Nevermind, his own blink is going to take a while. So the momentum's going to have to come out once more from the mid here for Lelouch. And at the least he is starting to find the kills he needs to get that done. Going to need a little bit more than that though. So we'll see if the opportunity presents itself. Alacrity just anchoring down in mid. So every single time, Nevermind gets shoved in.
Oh,
Dire's
never
middle
mind. I mean,
tower
you
is
just
under attack.
can't show up down to that bot lane anymore. Meanwhile, topside, at least they might find themselves a Jokam, but no, apparently not Jokam. He's still alive. TMB the one in trouble, but here comes a Lelouch with a big avalanche toss out. They might at least get another. Mizu. Oh. Turns around, gets a little bit greedy there at the
Dire's
tail
middle
end,
tower
and
is under
barely
attack.
survives.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Great use of the fair fire, just hangs in there, tries to bait them into the tier 1. They don't overcommit from Polaris's end, but NGX just showing us they can play on the limits. They still find that kill on the support Doom, so it's still something for Lelouch to accelerate into that blink. You're not losing the biggest targets here on NGX. Your lanes are still shaping up well. Slowest lane is likely Mizu's lane, but he is the offlane MP. Doesn't need too much to get going. Well, you've really enabled In Your Dream. 4.3k in that fort already. Working towards that Battle Fury. It's going to be a really quick timing for him around the 12-minute mark or so. And once that PA has the Battle Fury up, your Jug is going to be lagging a bit behind. In fact, Natsumi's also going for a Battle Fury, so going for the old school match farm kind of sense here, and it does help clear out the push that can come through from NGX with the Treants. So I guess they feel like they need some wave clear on their pause 1 as well. That should help get the job done, but Polaris needs to start building up their stacks to really maximize that Battle Fury time down the line. So we see some large camp stacking triangle. They're going to need to hold on to that mid-tier 1 to secure that, and they're going to need to hold on until that Battle Fury is up.
I don't know if I agree with the itemization here from Natsumi on the Battle Fury. So like, you kind of maybe want to go for more like a Maelstrom build up here, but really matter. I guess he's going into the late game against his
Radiant are
PA.
scanning.
Mid lane, push is happening. Dragon Knight, get it going as Alacrity. I don't know if Xavius is around. Xavius trying his best to slow this push down as best as possible, but
Dire are
it's like that
scanning.
T1 tower is set to fall. He can at least try for the
Dire's
deny, but he's
middle
going to miss
tower
out on that
has
as well.
fallen.
Alacrity, at the least, does not find the stun onto Xavier, so he does survive. But Joe Cam, in the meantime, does find TMV instead on the Jakiro, but doesn't really have any help around to secure the kill. Instead, NGXC gonna back their way out. They should be very happy with taking that mid-tier 1 tower.
Nice simple tower take, opens up the map a little bit more. Polaris starting to mass TP down bot though. They've got the arena ready on Nevermind. They need a good angle, but they're spotted out by that forward ward. So In Your Dream just gets to back off. Really awkward ward position, not one that's normally scouted out. And In Your Dream just gets to back off and keep farming while they start to get aggressive up top in NGX's end.
Natsumi, back up towards the top lane he goes. Luckily, no Doom available yet on Joe Cam, so he can't commit that. But he does have the Tomb now, so level 6 is online for the Doom. They might just jump in, and they do. Doom is out. Exor will follow. Joe Cam is trying to connect with the sun, and does do so as Mizu. He gets the sprout off. No way through it. They do find Natsumi, and now the arena is down. They might at least find Joe Cam, and they will. They'll take what they can get. It's still a very rough trade, though, for the side of Polaris. That's a big pick off. They could get it. The Tiny in trouble. Mizu does get the sprout, but it is cut through as In Your Dream does land the stun. Leilouche needs some help. He's in an avalanche up. There's your eyes passed out from TMV, but In Your Dream still moving in and does secure the kill. Impossible. This PA is going to be huge. 4 so far. Making a 5th one. Double kill up for In Your Dream. It's going to be very hard to slow this man down now.
It really is. It's going to be a 12.5-minute battle here at this rate. Along with power treads and a rate band doing a lot of damage already. Farm rate's going to increase, and the timing for Natsumi's way further off. I mean, the Chug does have early presence, but when you do go for the battle for your build, you are tending to focus in more on farm. And Natsumi does still have his triangle in control, at least. Top jungle also somewhat in control. They haven't been playing in that area. You do have the blink up and running on Lelouch here now, Mike, so Polaris can look to play aggressive off the back of the Tiny. They do smoke up as 2 here, trying to look for that pick-off.
They are going to try Lelouch. He'll frontline to put the team with that blink up. Through the Radiant Triangle they go. Alacrity, he might run right into him in this Dragon Knight. They do, they break the smoke. They were trying to jump Joe Cam, but instead now they're the ones being jumped. Lelouch already losing half his HP. He needs some help right now, but there's no help incoming. The Tiny is in such big trouble. Lelouch can't even find Boom Boy. And they even got Lelouch and Xavius on top of that. It's a problem here for Polaris Esports.
Dire's top tower
And
is
they're
under
just
attack.
working the aggression really well in NGX. They know where they have to play. They know what to expect out from Polaris. Polaris just not finding any openings on map. The blink timing on Nevermind's delayed. He's had such a painful lane on his signature Mars. In Your Dream's just been allowed to farm up to a really great extent. Even Alacrity just left alone on mid because there's really not much threat Tiny has on that with his burst damage, considering how tanky Alacrity is with just double Bracer Soul Ring. And they're losing map control. They've already lost mid earlier on. Top's gone. Top jungle is fully invaded now by the side of NGX. They've got the blink ready here on Alacrity.
They will. Alacrity right in. Sees a free kill on the keeper, and he'll take it. Mizu is the one to actually claim the kill on the Prophet. Polaris backs against the wall now with a 5k net worth deficit. Seems like there's going to be a lot of pressure on Natsumi to carry them through this game, as it feels like no other lane's gone right. And even Natsumi's lane didn't really go that well. At least not as well as In Your Dreams lane, which has gone really just well. Best you could probably ask for. Still at 5-0-2.
Just having a swell run on that PA. Battle Fury up, rushing into the BKB. 7.3k net worth at 14 minutes in.
Oh,
Polaris going out with another smoke.
Might find something here, John. Someone's around. Jump in onto the Prophet of the Dragon Tail. Does connect with only Ice Path and the Macro Fire. To the Tiny. The Thunder on the low. Mizu still alive somehow. The Illuminate though, the Avalanche, it's going to connect. And it'll be enough to at least get two. Moonboy and Mizu both dropping. Polaris able to fight back successfully.
They do manage to get a pick-off that they desperately need, and getting some build-up here on the leash. And really well-timed Ice Path and Mac from TMV. That blocks off the Dragon Tail follow-through from Alacrity. Not quite enough to shove away DK. They find that pick-off they need. And probably not the biggest one you'd want. You
Radiant
definitely
are
want to be
scanning.
hunting down in your dream, but he is just well protected by his teammates, taking that forward position so the PA is safe inside their own part of the river, part of their map. Polaris, the buildup is there. The Battle Fury is up for Natsumi, so you can start to clear out these Ancients, and the farm is slowly but surely trickling through. You're gonna need to finish up that BKB Blink on Nevermind to really get their combination off, and then the magic starts to pour in. But with the BKB timing we're going to be seeing from In Your Dream and even Alacrity here, you don't have that big of a window to play with your magical burst anymore. And once those BKBs are up and running, it just feels like your entire lineup is kind of counteracted. Like your burst on Tiny's gone, your constant magic damage from the Cockle's gone, Macro Fire's not going to feel that amazing, and your control from the Mars Arena's just disappeared. So Polaris needs to make some moves happen before the BKBs come through here, Mike, but they still haven't found the angle.
He might try now. Joe Cam, he's going to blink up. Lelouch going to be very cautious. Joe Cam, though, unable to get within range.
I'll take that.
All towards the south, Alacrity. He's hanging around Natsumi and TMB, but doesn't seem like they're going to run into each other. Should be just fine. So the 4K net worth lead still stands. In Your Dream, reset that escalator timing now. In fact, he might go for the BKB first, just to be extra safe. And in the meantime, TMB does get caught out. They'll take the Jakiro kill for themselves.
Not the biggest one in the world, but still a kill here for NGX. Allows them to just play more aggressively,
Radiant's
knowing that
middle
that
tower
base
is
tool
under
and
attack.
magic power is gone. So that a lot of that magic damage is taken away from these team fights. And they feel less threatened to show up in the lanes and get their farm up. Polaris still stalling out. I mean, Natsumi's recovered pretty nicely. 8K net worth around at this point. 200 gold behind. 100 gold behind the game. Watch these off the top.
Well, they've got Mizzet. That's a great pickup here for Polaris. Lelouch able to set up another one. I think at this stage of the game, though, it's more about how you're going to shut down this PA. Like, In Your Dream's been left to free farm this whole time. I don't think the Jug's going to be able to keep up, even with the Battle Fury up. I think the PA is always going to be the faster farmer. And at this point, it doesn't seem like they have the answers.
No. And once the BKB's up and In Your Dream, the answers kind of disappear. She's gonna have
Radiant's middle
next to
tower
max
is under
blur at that
attack.
point. You're not gonna have anything like an MKB up on your Jug anytime soon. Polaris will go for the smoke play now, though. They've got the blink up on Nevermind at least. If they can get that jump now, before the full BKB's up on In Your Dream, that could be a big one.
Oh, they might find him. They're running right towards the PA. In Your Dream. Oh, Spidey senses a tingling. He knows something's wrong. He backs off at the right moment. Lelouch going to try with the avalanche. The toss back is like connect. The ice storm is there. Where's the BKB? It's run out again. Here's the block. In Your Dream is going to drop the big goal. They're going to try and punish them. They're out. They've taken down Nevermind. And now they've got the Tiny. Lelouch is gone. TMB, he might be the first to drop. Hell, even Xavier's just re-showing himself. Some 4-star pass, but they cannot save the hero. TMB to drop. You got the PA, but I've got a question if it's worthwhile using two cores plus support for that. It's a hell of a lot to trade.
It is. I think you take it if you're Polaris there. You definitely needed to get that kill on In Your Dream now for
Dire's
BKB, and they
bottom
managed to get
tower
that
is under
timing right.
attack.
They just didn't have enough in the tank to follow through afterwards. They don't have any of their own early BKBs anywhere near done, of course. NGX is really rushing into that spell immunity first. They are buying space for Natsumi, and killing off the PA does allow Natsumi to catch up a little bit. Yasha up, Sanj next into the Shard. Some more presence coming out from the spin. I feel like if you go Battle Fury going for this build, it's a bit awkward. Xavius isn't safe though.
Joe can make the jump in. Xavier's off the Spirit Form and trying to make a run for it, but Alacrity's right on the chase and he's got no way out of that tree line. But his team isn't coming. They might be able to punish for this keeper kill.
Radiant's courier
It
has been
doesn't seem
killed.
like they'll make it in time, but perhaps they can still try with the Ice Mark. At least on one. Lelouch wants to be a target. He'll go after Alacrity on that Dragon Knight and they've locked it down. Nice trade for Polaris.
It's what they needed. They need to find more big forests. Not done yet.
Speed up here by Nevermind. It's set to fall, it seems. They should have the damage. So Joe Camp will go for a cheeky stun out, but Nevermind eventually will take the kill. Another nice pickup for Polaris Esports. They just need a couple more of those, and it does seem like they'll be back into the game.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Keeping themselves well placed here. Still 4K behind. Never mind.
Oh, in your dream, he hasn't forgotten how that laning stage goes. Onto the master, they have the damage, not quite. One more crit would have done it, but never mind. Able to quickly think and TP up. Problem is now Roshan is up. And in your dream, he'll get started.
Arena for about half a minute here for Polaris. Still have good blink angle, but no BKB, so jumping in isn't the safest bet. And this rush doesn't take too long for him. He does have good damage. He has his own BKB if there's a contestation here from Polaris. Players are clumped up towards mid, but don't quite have the best position spot to rush. They do have that ramp ward on the river. Not gonna make it in time though. Aegis up on In Your Dream with the fresh BKB. He's feeling great in this PA. Desolator next. First damage is going to be on hand physically into the Ag Shard with Fan of Knives to get some break action going on. And for Polaris, it's still all in on Natsumi. He's the only hero that's really allowed to farm up here. Sanji and Yasha up with a Battle Fury again, going into the shards. I mean, he can wave clear really well. I think his single target damage still isn't at its apex. He's going to need a lot more, maybe even something like, I don't know, it feels like you still need a way of handling that PA evasion. So an MKB still feels like it's going to be necessary, if not something like a Silver Edge for break, or even just a Mjolnir so you can get some procs bouncing, although with a BKB on it.
Oh, In Your Dream!
What?
Oh, there goes the Aegis! Down, it was just so much damage, and now, well, the goes through the goal line. In Your Dream moves in, there's Nevermind, he's gone. Onto Ray Loose, they've got the Tiny, locked down, trying to heal him up. He's still alive with the Mew. Can he get out of this? It doesn't seem like it. The Tiny's still dripping out. Meanwhile, In Your Dream, who's he aiming down? Nobody quite yet. In fact, somehow they lose survive throughout all that. So they might be able to counter-initiate now. NGX, they're the ones trying to back out. Everyone's out of it. What a
Pretty
mess of a team
fortunate for
fight.
Lelouch. No massive crits coming out there from In Your Dream in that mess. No Desolator up yet in Your Dream, so the physical armor of our Tiny still comes into play. Level 2 Grow is still a lot of armor for PA to work through with the crit damage he does have on hand. You're gonna need that Deso to kind of even it out. And Polaris get to hang around. They know Doom is down for a minute and a half. They've got an opportunity to play with the Arena up, and they will go for that smoke.
Well, they see Joe Cam in the mid lane. They might settle for that. Take down the Doom and then go for the mid tier 1 tower. They barely miss out on Alacrity as well.
Dire are scanning.
Instead, again, they could set up for the mid tier 1.
Are scanning.
Rotations are incoming. Mizudo, he's run the middle. They've got the race back going, but meanwhile, Arena, the all three of them at Nevermind, setting up perfectly. Alacrity and Boomboy already gone. Miz is in trouble now. Toss back onto the Nature's Prophet. And they've got to lay back. They lose. He keeps going for more. He wants the rest of it. If they get he's not being left behind, but the ice up. He's going to lock down In Your Dream. He didn't put the BKB in time. He's gone.
Oh my god.
Oh boy. It's a full team wipe out for Polaris Esports.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Oh, they
attack.
have the BKB too.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, that's
Radiant's middle
pretty
tower
rough. I mean,
is
if you don't get that spell immunity off, the magic damage and the output of Polaris is still pretty high, and they managed to bait NGX in 1 by 1 almost. Really good jump from Nevermind, showing us once more why his Mars is probably a top tier ban against Polaris. Has a slower
Radiant's
lane start,
middle tower
just gets
is
a
under
blink,
attack.
starts running around, setting up for his team with Lelouch on hand. And now, that massive lead NGX had is gone. Natsumi suddenly top of network,
Radiant's
off the
top
back
tower
of these
is under
engagements.
attack.
Is working towards a Linken's for protection from the Doom or Soulbind at least. Once that's up, locking in the Jug's gonna be an issue. Still very defensive on the Jug.
What a
They're gonna
bounty!
need something to pierce through the evasion, but if the PA never gets off the BKB, she doesn't have the highest strength gain. So burning her true with magic is still very feasible here for the side of Polaris, and that's something In Your Dream has to be wary about. He's got to be able to turn that BKB on at the right time, get the angle to jump back in, have his team back him up there, and kind of clean off with his damage output. Like, the Desolator's almost done.
Oh,
That's going to be the point where even the Tiny's going to be something that he can pick off, but he needs to be cautious jumping in like that. Just, you can't afford to melt. It's still a Jakiro, it's still a Kotl, it's still a Tiny. We've got a lot of magical burst on hand as well.
Polaris Polaris. They've smoked up as 4. Oh, in your dream, do not go for that creep wave, sir. So they're going down Can he get out? He cannot. He cannot make his way out of there. It's now in your dream can pace for more. B&B. A triple kill up for Alacrity. They even found the final piece of the puzzle. It's going to be Xavier's, but can they get him? Yes, they can. Alacrity picks up an ultra kill on the Dragon Knight. And that team fight really works out the way of NGXC.
Dire's top tower
Yeah,
is
it's,
under attack.
They overextend on NGX's on Polaris' side. They tried to force that fight. Angle wasn't quite the best, and this time around, BKB managed to turn on for In Your Dream, and that makes all the difference in the world. Your Jug still not well equipped to deal with evasion. Spin damage is nice, but not enough to help In Your
Dire's
Dream.
bottom tower is under
And
attack.
BKB flies on, doesn't even matter. So
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Polaris in a very awkward spot. They had some momentum coming back. They forced the issue a bit too hard. NGX managing to catch them off guard. Managing to get that beautiful double doom off once more with Jokam. And In Your Dream, fully kitted out now. Desolator is up. Damage output is skyrocketing. PA starting to hit level
Dire's
20. I'm
top
wondering
tower is under
what In Your
attack.
Dream goes for. It feels like in this game, if you really just want to win while you're ahead, you get that evasion talent. He does go for the stifling dagger damage instead, so plays it safe. Maybe expecting that down the line at some point you will have something fierce your evasion. Might as well just try to crit the supports in the back with a stifling dagger. Kotl is not going to be safe this game, Mike. Nothing defensive for Xavius. No scepter up yet either, so one lucky dagger crit, he could be a dead boy very fast.
Love to see it. 6k net worth lead is there once again for NGXC. You see how well Natsumi's farming with the Jug, but it just doesn't translate, right? Because it's PA plus Jug. It doesn't feel very good for the Juggernaut. It seems like he's going for a Lincoln Speed just to block out these Dooms that have been flying out from Jokam. With the double Doom proving to be way too much in the middle of these team fights. But even with that, I question whether you can control this PA. Especially while the BKB's up, it just feels rather impossible. Polaris not out of this game yet though. 8k behind, but they can certainly make a massive comeback here. We've seen Lelouch and Nevermind set up some great team fights for Polaris. And this is without Natsumi even being around. They just seem to be able to make them work. But 5v5, again, that Doom kicks in with the Soulbind. It's just too much. Here we go. NGXC, they're grouping up and they're trying to move into that Dire Triangle once again. Oh, there's double damage.
Oh boy. Yeah, no bottle for In Your Dream to hold on to that, so it doesn't look like we'll really get an opportunity to find that one shot onto something like the Kotl. Polaris can be very, very fortunate to have that ward standing, not being taken out by the side of NGX. NGX will go for that smoke play though. Get find the angle this time around. Finds drawn up top, want to check that top jungle, but they are hiding by the tier 2 and Polaris, playing very defensively. Knowing that they've dropped a couple of fights, and knowing that the Roche is going to be up relatively soon. Timer's going to be up soon. See how much time they have here.
Alacrity, he does break the smoke. Lelouch doesn't flinch. Just keeps hiding in that tree line. He was under vision. The observer ward of the Dire, but again, they just don't feel confident making the jump in onto the DK. Does have BKB available, so it's a rather tough kill to try and go for.
Fire and ice.
Polaris, they're still kind of just dealing with the side lanes being forced in here by Mizu. Very annoying, always going against that Nature's Prophet with the Greater Treants. Always going to keep an eye out as to exactly what's going on in those side lanes. Roshan, still 2.5 minutes away, but NGXC are clearly waiting for that Roshan to come up. Polaris, obviously not going to be able to afford to give that Roshan away for free.
As well. See if they find the angle. Lots of trains being spread around here by Mizu, just getting some vision out. They should know something's up.
Basher up on In Your Dream now. Counter smoke is there. NGXC wants to fight with this new itemization. Lelouch might need to back up, but he's still got the vision advantage. Watching from the high ground, In Your Dream. Making the jump in, but doesn't throw out that dagger yet. Polaris understanding how fast this game could fall apart if they make the jump in the wrong way. Meanwhile, Mizu, he's still just pushing out the bot lane. Like, it's still a far while away, but Polaris, they're gonna have to address that eventually. As Lelouch makes the jump in on the DK illusions now. Not gonna quite find the real hero though, and again, it just seems like both teams are waiting for Roshan. Still 1 minute 10 seconds away though.
Still a bit of a wait. Both sides in a good position to kind of force that Roche pit fight. It all boils down to whether or not Polaris can catch NGX before they turn on their BKBs. Like say, you pin down In Your Dream, burn them down with a macro pyre, and that's kind of a good condition to start going here. If NGX manages to find a counter fight for their own BKBs being popped at the right time, before the control can come in, that's when things get dicey for Polaris. So you really do have to work on that aggression here for Polaris. They've got to work the angle somehow, and they have to keep their lanes in check. Like, bot is just constantly shoved in, forcing a response out every single time. And I like what Mizu does. He shoves in the wave, and then he sends the trees around to scout and just farm other camps. Just getting that gold influx going his way, cutting off resources from the side of Polaris that keep building up. 15 seconds until that Roshan is up. Polaris still keeping an eye on it. So is NGX. So both sides being very patient. Might have the opportunity to smoke out again for the side of Polaris if they wanted to, if they still have any on hand. Doesn't quite look like they do. Gonna have to try to ram their heads in if they want to try to sneak this one or contest it.
It's a rather annoying timing here for Natsumi though, John. Like, he's still working on towards that MKB and doesn't really have any components of it. So still a while away of being able to get through that evasion of the PA, and now the counter smoke is there. GXC, they'll see the Roshan. They want the fight first. Still 9k advantage. They understand they are the stronger team right now. They are moving in alacrity. Who's he gone? It's going to be something, and it's going to be the Xavier's Coddle gone. Good start here for NGXC. Polaris, they're going to back out of there, but that's going to open up the Roshan to go the way of the Radiant. And it doesn't seem like there's anything Polaris can do about it.
They don't have many options left. They need to topple there, especially for a little bit more of that sustain coming from the Spirit Form to Illuminate. Roche falls very quickly to the It's going to be 3 shards out as well for In Your Dream, so a little bit more damage. Break mechanic on hand with Fan of Knives out, along with that secondary life with I don't know if Polaris can deal with the 2 lives. We've seen them deal with 1 life on In Your Dream. Secondary life with a BKB, as long as In Your Dream gets that going there, should be perfectly manageable. So, opening up that push onto the high ground now. Only 1 outer tower left for Polaris. Their high ground defense, it is there. They've got wave clear with a Coddle and the Jakiro. They've got the arena threat. They've always got toss back plays if they manage to find the angle. But it does feel harder and harder to pull that off as MGX solidify their lead now, 13k, and just keep building up. Like, Alacrity already has Ags up here as well, Mike. Our DK having that Black Dragon form and free patting is also doing quite a fair bit of damage with his durability on hand.
It certainly is. So Jocam was thinking about a bit of a jump, but won't do so. Natsumi still shying mid lane, does get a very quick spear off, or excuse me, rather a spin off. Waiting any kind of stun to come in from the DK. It's all about holding high ground now and trying to get through that Aegis of In Your Dream. In Your Dream, in the meantime, he's just going to work towards finishing off that Abyssal Blade. That 500 more gold
Dire's
for
middle
that.
tower is under attack.
That's going to make life even harder for the Jug. I guess it does buy at least a bit more time for Natsumi to try and get that MKB up, but it's such a long time away if you expect to have buyback with that as well.
Yeah, it's a long way to go for Natsumi, so a lot more stall has to come through from Polaris, as you do have our classic Southeast Asian wait pause. No context provided, just wait. So that is something we are good at doing in Southeast Asia. We're very good at waiting, Mike. As
You certainly are.
Someone undoubtedly spams F9 in a pub. It is what it is.
It's tradition, John. Just tradition. You
Absolutely.
always spam F9, and there's no good reason why someone should be pausing in the middle of a live game. Absolutely none.
No, the classic excuse, of course, is Discord. I miss that. Pause and say Discord. Always
think
gets me
they're-
chuckling.
They've realized now there's no point in saying Discord anymore. Just say wait. It's all right.
Who was it that loved saying Discord? Was it Boom? It was
Everyone
almost
said
always
it.
Boom.
Everyone
Oh,
said
that's
it.
true. Go ahead, Stare. Still no context provided. No context needed to go back into the game. And NGX, I mean, they have all the tools on hand. Once that Abyssal Blade's up on In Your Dream, like you said, Micah, it's gonna be hard for Natsumi to do anything. Like spin, it's not gonna feel useful. Even the level 20 talent of Mizu, just leash him up. And Natsumi's gonna be pretty isolated if he does find himself in an awkward spot. NGX being very patient here though, Mike, respecting the high ground hold of Polaris. So, gonna play it safe for now. Just keep shoving in and keep getting that build up.
And in the meantime, Polaris still just hold the high ground forever.
Dire's top tower is under
You've still
attack.
got 2.5 minutes on the Aegis, and now with the Aghanim, or rather the Abyssal Blade up, it's probably about time for NGXC to try and move their way up towards the high ground. You know, I don't think you want to risk getting to the stage where Natsumi does have buyback as well as the MKB, because then things do get infinitely harder if you are the PA. You finally got a way to actually hit this hero. NGX, they're not really moving though. Again, a lot of pressure on both these teams to try and make this win happen. You lose 2 series in the SEA DPC, again, chances are you probably aren't going to win. It's not impossible, but it's incredibly hard. That's how the format works. I suppose for NGXC, they could really just make it very easy for themselves by continuing to just farm. 17k net worth advantage now.
Dire's bottom tower is under
Still
attack.
building up. Still more they could get here on In Your Dream. Satanic coming through next for a PA. Octarine Core coming through for Alacrity. That added range on Dragon Ball is going to be really nice, especially in melee form if they want that instantaneous stun. So, going to have a lot to play with. Of course, more uptime on the Dragon form when the Ag's up. It's going to be a great way of managing everything. There is a double damage rune that spawned up top here as well, Mike. Would be very nice if In Your Dream finds that. Very balanced for PA to crit a hero all the way down.
Yep.
If they find that DD. And again, just look at Mizu. Constantly microing all of his treants to walk around and just check. Just making sure Polaris isn't smoking out or doing anything silly.
I think Eosin tweeted this this last game, Jonathan. He did say that Mizu was doing a great job of kind of just blocking all the camps against the Medusa. Just partially why they had such an easy time against the Medusa from Natsumi last game is the fact that Mizu was just blocking all the camps with his treants. And so he's kind of doing a similar thing, except this time he doesn't need to
Dire's
block any
turret
camps. He
has
just
been killed.
scouts out constantly and makes sure that Polaris aren't leaving the base.
Radiant
And that they haven't. They are not leaving. They are still within this base.
Dire's top tower
20k
is
advantage
under
the way of
attack.
NGXC, only going higher as time goes on. Maybe once the Aegis is down on In Your Dream, they'll decide to try and make a play.
Now, only 20 seconds left for In Your Dream's Aegis. Not too much time left in that secondary life. And that could be the opening for Polaris if they do want to make something happen on the map. Slowly but surely, this MKB is also forming up now on Natsumi. So he will have a way of dealing with that PA. Does have the money for it now. Doesn't have his courier for a bit longer though. So not going to be able to buy back safely. And
Dire are
you have the
scanning.
Aegis expiring now. So no secondary life, and that could be the opening for Polaris if they do dip out, but they're just stuck here. I mean, what can you really do? You're constantly scouted out by the treants. You don't really want to risk it outside. You know that PA is a massive issue. You've seen the DK Dragon form already. The BKBs have just been ruining your instantaneous burst on initiation, especially if you don't catch them before BKBs fly on. Your options are kind of limited right now for the side of Polaris.
22k advantage now. Satanic being built up here next on In Your Dream. I mean, Natsumi does have enough to have the full MKB up now if he does want it. Problem is he's going to leave himself with no buyback, so he's not doing so. He's holding up for now. Of course, his courier did end up going down anyway, so maybe he was trying to get that
Dire's
done.
bottom tower
That's not going to
is
happen.
under attack.
Again, the farm game continues. NGXC just not having enough quite yet. Polaris really trying to hold out here on the high ground. Still grouped up as 5. Have smokes available, and they are going to pop one. They've had enough. The Treants are going to give this information away, though. Nobody's in the base, so they're going to know that there's smoke somewhere. Where are they headed though? Jocam, he does break the smoke of Natsumi. Boomboy, he does back off at the right moment, and it just...
Dyer's
This
bottom
feels
tower
impossible.
has fallen.
How are you meant to leave the base
Bounty.
if they just know every time?
Yeah, you can't. You get a good read. Then the train's not being cleared out fast. That's indicated to NGX. Something's up. They managed to break the smokes. Boomboy stands around his ward. That's off in the nick of time. And Polaris are just stuck high ground. Like, this is just a slow but sure whittling away from NGX. They're gonna have that full satanic up right about now. I think gold's already there. So satanic here along with that, so everything's pretty much set. But I don't think we wait for anything more here. And now the one worry is only that MKB on Natsumi, but again, he's still waiting to have enough for the MKB plus the buyback still a ways off. Until that point, it just doesn't feel safe to commit. If you could also just pray and hope that Lelouch starts to become this massive core, and work towards his ad shard, still no buyback to have the shard plus buyback. But he will be able to contribute to these fights. He's got the Shadow Blade up. Needs a little bit more attack speed though. So a lot more room to grow here for Lelouch as well.
I mean, he didn't just take his farming axe now, no? Into a Divine Rapier, by the way. That's just his last item. If he gets to it, I'm buying a Divine Rapier. It looks like Polaris now are going to leave the base for the first time in a very long time, I want to say. Apart from that smoke. They might just move as a unit and try to get this to the secret shop. And there we go. They've got the MKB up now, Natsumi. Is it going to make the difference? It's questionable.
Is under attack.
I think the answer is no, but it could make the difference.
No, it's a bit tough seeing that ensure again.
Dyer's
Catch
top
her
tower has fallen.
maybe right after she casts Blur as well. So you don't have any chance to just dodge at least one slash. Feels like you're gonna need to get everything you can in your Omni Slash, and you have to find that right angle where there are no treants around, not many other heroes to bounce off into, just focus solely on PA. You do lose their range racks now from slow whittling away. Polaris,
Oh, it's just so
their base is just slowly being seized. Yeah, this is just. It's like they're just slowly killing them, you know, with 1,000 cuts. You know they're gonna die. The process of them doing it is just slow. I mean, Polaris, they still have a hold, but I don't know, they need to. It just doesn't feel enough. It feels like NGX has to mess up.
He just buys a Manta and he's sending his Black Dragon illusions in
Dire
to hit the towers. And it's working. That's the most sickening part. It's working. If they smoke out, they lose their 2-3 tower. This is tipping Nevermind now for absolutely no reason. The Raxes are under siege and they're just DK illusions. And these damn treants.
Dyer's middle tower
And
is under
NGX, they're
attack.
just refusing to fight.
Yeah. I mean, it's back to that point you said, right? Like, this series is just...
They go. Finally ready. The Keeper of the Light is going to go down. The patience is over here for Polaris. Now the jump is there. Jocam, who's he got? It's going to be Nevermind. Being caught out of the mask. Being shredded here by In Your Dream. Absolutely no problem. They'll refresh. Back into the Jakiro now. They've got TMB down. Buybacks are available.
Dyer's middle barracks.
Plenty of time to save those up. Hence, gives out the job, but instead they go on to lose from that tiny. It's gone. It's the Mojo Camp. He jumps in again on Nevermind. He wants to tie back on that mark, and he might just have it. Boy, at least going down, but it won't matter. In Your Dream, he's destroying everyone. Natsumi, trying to get out of there. And that's tossed out by Lelouch, but is it going to make the difference? It doesn't seem like it. In Your Dream's all over it. They've got the shot down. He'll buy back, but this game's over. GG is called. Can we get a rampage this time for In Your Dream? He's going to start the fountain for it. Natsumi doesn't want to give it over. The judge, no, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Not this series. No rampage for you, sir.
Yeah, he was denied off by Boomboy last time. This time, the game just ends.